Welcome to episode 51 of Flicks and Figs. Although third-party Nemesis from Resident Evil makes it more like episode Area 51. Yes, that's right. Patriot Studio are giving us a 1/12th scale Nemesis. But I know what you're thinking. What other exciting action figure news could there be? Well, grab some snacks, human brains as snacks optional, and let's discuss all the latest action figure news. And for God's sake, Leon, there's no need to hold Nemesis at gunpoint. He was happy to be included in Flicks and Figs when I last spoke to him. And hopefully you enjoy my videos and don't feel the need to be held at gunpoint to watch them. If so, do feel free to smash that like button, comment and subscribe at any point during the video.
Thanks, Mark, and here we get a look at Patriot Studio 1/12th Nemesis. And we certainly are rounding out a nice selection of third-party Resident Evil characters. I'm hoping TAKTAK Toys will give us some official ones since they do work with Capcom on the Street Fighter license and are able to access the Capcom library for other potential Capcom characters to make an action figure form. And from big bad guys in Resident Evil, we go to big guys from Loose Collector. If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down to the woods today, you can photograph your figures, which is nice. And Hulk and Odious and the others look like they are queuing up to get into a nightclub or something in this photo, with the Yeti as the bouncer. If your name is not down, you're not coming in. And from Loose Collector Yeti to the world of Mythic Legions, the Necronominous wave is in stock at some retailers, and Mythic Legions continues to provide figures with amazing paint apps and deco schemes. Some collectors would prefer more articulation. I'm personally excited for the Toy Atlanta TA-25 inspired figure. He looks like he can make short work of some heavy-duty roadblocks. And keeping it with a character that could appear in the world of Mythic Legions, Savage Crucible Elric of Melnibone is up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, and this figure could sit alongside the vampire characters of Mythic Legions quite nicely, or even your Marvel Legends Dracula. As someone for Marvel Legends Blade to contend with.
And feel free to let me know your thoughts about any action figures in the video comments below. And please do smash that like button, comment and subscribe. And feel free to become a channel member to unlock exclusive content.
And there is a few hawks and animals in the world of Mythic Legions. And speaking of hawk and animal, we get a look at Ringside Collectibles Hawk and Animal aka the Road Warriors wrestlers. Mark told me these were two of his favorite wrestlers growing up. And he had the Mattel figures, which these seem to be using the molds from. Another chance to nab these rarer action figures again in this updated format.
And from the Road Warriors, two wrestlers that were originally done in figure form by Mattel, we turn our attention to Mattel with the news that they will be taking over the DC license to make action figures again in 2026, which has largely been met with excitement from the collecting community in the prospect and possibility of 6-inch DC figures again, which could in theory compete with Marvel Legends. And say what you want about McFarlane DC Multiverse, Todd did give us quite a selection of 1/10th scale Batmobiles, the likes of which Mattel may not give us in comparison, and a wealth of more deep-cut characters from DC. It would be nice to see such characters from Mattel in DC action figure form, but we will have to wait and see how deep they go.
And speaking of McFarlane, it seems Toddy Mac is giving us 7-inch versions of the classic Mortal Kombat characters, as Mattel said to DC, regarding Uncle Todd, finish him. So are you excited for some new Mortal Kombat figures? Are you happy Toddy Mac is doing them? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And that's not all. Toddy Mac is also making some 2012 Turtles, and both these Turtles and Mortal Kombat figures were shown off as part of New York Toy Fair 2025, and for more detailed coverage from that event I should have another video that goes into things a bit further. These are just a few highlights I have put in the video from the convention. And jumping from McFarlane to Super 7 Ultimates, we get a look at their 2003 TMNT Shredder, Foot Soldier, Splinter and more. So these will have double joints. What do you think of these? The Super 7 Ultimates Turtles are arguably some of their best figures. The Thundercats line has become a little disappointing in my personal opinion. I'd like them to have double joints like these figures. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And the Turtles have met Batman in the comics. And for some Dark Knight Batman representation, in 1/12th cloth costume representation, Chaos Toys are giving us this version, which I've mentioned on Flicks and Figs before. And they are also doing a Superman as well. So this looks good, and there's plenty of choice for Batmans for your shelf.
And from DC to Marvel, here we get a look at Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse gathering together the new Avengers. Feel free to head over to Tom's Instagram, and I'll pop a link in the comments below. And sticking with Marvel Legends, feel free to check out Dan Who Reviews and his coverage of Marvel Legends X-Force Archangel from NYCC 2025. And I'll put a link to his channel and all these great YouTube channels and independent UK and international retailers in the comments below. And feel free to check out my video on G.I. Joe Classified Cold Slither, and more G.I. Joe Classified to come later in the video.
Thanks, Mark. So as mentioned, feel free to check out these YouTube channels and independent retailers, and more G.I. Joe Classified to come, and of course Gridiron Studio compliments G.I. Joe Classified. Gridiron Studio is a little difficult to get here in the UK. But let's take a look at a snow-based vehicle to support Snowjob against the Arctic BATS.
So if you do want an Arctic vehicle in 1/12 scale whilst we wait for G.I. Joe Classified to give us a snowcat at some point, then Gridiron Studios have you covered for all your needs for toy photography or just posing on the shelf with the Arctic Hound. So, do you have any Valerse Arctic troops? Do you have Snowjob from Classified or the Snow Serpents or Arctic Bats? Let me know in the comments below.
And speaking of Valerse, here's the latest Series 5 drops, the Crimson Infantry, Marine Ops and Special Ops Troopers, as well as some more weapons packs. Hopefully Bobby and Props and Replicas are working things out behind the scenes to get these into the hands of UK customers. So what do you think of these? Do you collect Valerse Action Force? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.
And feel free to let me know your thoughts about any action figures in the video comments below. And please do smash that like button, comment and subscribe. And feel free to become a channel member to unlock exclusive content. And then something from Ramen Toys really caught my eye at NYCC 2025. A 1/12 scale Generation 2 Megatron themed tank that can fit G.I. Joe Classified figures. Perfect for building an Energon universe in your collection where G.I. Joe and Transformers share the same universe. I'd love some more Transformers in vehicle form to expand on the world building in the collection and on the shelf. I know the dream would be 1/12 transforming Transformers, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. A G1 Optimus Prime in vehicle form in 1/12 scale would be great. Which Transformers would you like?
And Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse gives us some great toy photography featuring Mesco 1/12 Junkyard Joe, a character from the Geisha universe who originally appeared in Vietnam and then reappeared in the post-apocalyptic world of Geisha. It's a very good comic, and I highly recommend checking it out if you want something different to DC and Marvel.
And then we got a look at the Cold Slither SDCC 2025 exclusive box set, which is kitted out like a Springfield Stadium. The figures will be able to be displayed inside or of course taken out for posing and play. And there's a nice nod to Gem, and the holograms, and the Average Joes, and some artwork of Monkey Wrench on the side as foreshadowing as to what's to come in. Classified, no doubt. If you want to see my video on G.I. Joe Classified Cold Slither, link is in the comments below. We need Satin and her dolls in classified form at some point. And then we got a look at Law and Order, and Lenny confirmed his walkie-talkie will be removable. That would be handy for a Legacy Series police officer, wouldn't it? As Viper Island pointed out in one of his videos. Then we got a look at Footloose, or unofficial Pedro Pascal, with that accidental likeness. And apparently he mixes surfing and military vibes. And the Frag Viper, who's an enhanced cyborg, his flesh tone reminds me of Data from Star Trek. And then Blowtorch and Darkland, and I have to say, seeing this wave on show, they look really good. I was actually more excited for the next wave initially, with Monkey Wrench, Night Viper and Snake Eyes version 4, but seeing Frag Viper, Blowtorch, Darkland and Footloose, they really do look excellent. I have a feeling the star of the show is going to be the Snake Armor. That could be a potential Figure of the Year contender. And here's Crystal Ball, who looks like he could be fighting Doctor Strange. And Lenny wanted to make the story around Crystal Ball that he had ties to the occult in his power set. And it's one really cool looking figure, another one of the weird and wacky characters to add to your Cobra ranks.
And there we saw Mass Device, Snake Eyes and Polar Bear. Snake Eyes sporting his radioactive hands, which I believe Lenny said do glow in the dark, and the snake armor that looks absolutely amazing. And here we have the Cobra and G.I. Joe divers from the Mass Device episodes, and Lenny did mention that it would be possible to swap heads on the G.I. Joe divers to make a few characters in diving uniforms.
And feel free to let me know your thoughts about any action figures in the video comments below. And please do smash that like button, comment and subscribe. And feel free to become a channel member to unlock exclusive content. And we are getting a badass Night Force Beachhead and Quick Kick. What's cool about Quick Kick is he's sporting captured Cobra gear in a guerrilla warfare type approach. And we got some very cool toy photography of the first responder firefighter, which will look great in a Marvel Legends Street Heroes display. Not just a G.I. Joe classified display, and more first responders to come. The next one is rumoured to be a medic, but a police officer is also rumoured to be on the way at some point. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed Flicks and Figs 51. Some NYCC 2025 stuff was mixed in. I'm hoping to do a separate video on NYCC 2025. But what did you think overall? What were some of your favourites? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you had a good time, and until next time, enjoy those flicks and figs.